Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be Psalm chapter 60. Let's get started now. Psalm 60 is a psalm of David, and it is believed to have been written during a time of national crisis for Israel. It begins with a cry for God's help and ends with a declaration of God's victory over the enemies of Israel. In this psalm, we see the importance of turning to God in times of trouble and the power of trusting in Him. The psalm begins with David acknowledging the severity of the situation. You have rejected us, God, and burst upon us. You have been angry, now restore us. Psalm 60 verse 1. David recognizes that Israel has fallen out of favor with God and that they are in dire need of His help. He cries out to God, asking Him to restore their fortunes and to show them His mercy. David then goes on to describe the severity of the crisis that Israel is facing. You have shaken the land and torn it open. Mend its fractures, for it is quaking. Psalm 60 verse 2. He describes how the earth itself is trembling and breaking apart, and he asks God to intervene and heal the land. In the midst of this crisis, David recognizes that Israel's only hope is in God. But you have raised a banner for those who fear you, a rallying point in the face of attack. Psalm 60 verse 4. He acknowledges that God is the only one who can deliver them from their enemies and restore their fortunes. David then recounts some of the victories that God has given Israel in the past, reminding himself and the people that God is powerful and faithful. With God we will gain the victory, and He will trample down our enemies. Psalm 60 verse 12. He trusts in God's ability to deliver them from their current crisis, just as He has done in the past. The teaching application of Psalm 60 is the importance of turning to God in times of trouble and the power of trusting in Him. David recognized that Israel's only hope was in God, and he cried out to Him for help. He trusted in God's ability to deliver them, even in the midst of a seemingly hopeless situation. As believers, we can learn from David's example and turn to God in times of trouble. No matter how dire our circumstances may seem, we can trust in God's faithfulness and His ability to deliver us. We can also take comfort in the fact that God has delivered us in the past and will continue to do so in the future. In addition, Psalm 60 reminds us of the importance of acknowledging our own sinfulness and need for God's forgiveness. David begins the psalm by acknowledging that Israel has fallen out of favor with God, and he cries out for His mercy and restoration. We too must recognize our own sinfulness and turn to God for forgiveness and restoration. Finally, Psalm 60 teaches us about the power of praise and worship in the midst of difficult circumstances. David ends the psalm by declaring God's victory over their enemies and praising Him for His faithfulness. With God we will gain the victory, and He will trample down our enemies. Psalm 60 verse 12. Even in the midst of crisis, we can praise God for His faithfulness and trust in His ability to deliver us. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible verse below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.